Hello, hello.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
How's it all going? How's things? Good evening, Kyle.
How's the weather? How they usually say in Ukraine?
How's the weather? Yeah, it's the same as where you are, I would be assuming.
Yeah.
The monk, Milan, Kyle, Jean, welcome to our Sunday night live video. What's happening, Luba? What's been happening in the world of dating?
I was thinking in general. So today's the elections in Ukraine, and everybody excited about that because I was trying to check the news while I was driving, like listening, and unfortunately, right now it's a bit messy because everybody filed each other that there was some corruption here and there. And so I don't know the results. I don't know anything about that yet, but the roads are still fixing. Everything is very clean. Everything is so good. Like we have several guys who travel to Ukraine. They enjoy their stay. Some borders not even asking for anything except insurance, and it's already happening in Lviv airport. It happened in Kharkiv airport, in Kyiv airport. One guy came with his own, he came with insurance and with the test that he made at home. So everything is going very good. We don't know what's going to happen like in a week or 2 weeks or in a month, but right now everything is good, and I think that we have to go with that.
Okay, cool. All right. Excuse me. Oh, Mama's in here. Mama, zelony borscht. Очень вкусно. Mama dropped me green borscht today, and it was perfect because I was starving and I was too tired to make any food. It was almost like Uber Eats. It just kind of arrived, and it just was like, yes. Okay, cool. Okay, so video today. We were actually we did make this as an actual video, didn't we? This is quite a cool video. We went and sat on these steps in the middle of nowhere, and we talked about this, but I kind of like missed off some points, and I thought that it would be actually quite interesting. Well, we thought to discuss it together on a live video. So the topic of the video is, romance tours, group tours, solo VIP tours, matchmaking. It's just a general discussion around if any guys are actually thinking about what to do, what way's best, or something like, not even really what way's best, but Luba and I have experience. Luba's worked for companies doing the VIP tours and the group tours. I've been on the group tours, probably some that you may be thinking about. So I'm just here to share my experience, I suppose, for any newbies. What do you think, Luba?
Yeah, I agree, because a lot of guys, when they text us and message us, they always think, oh, should I go by myself or should I join some tour? And what would be the most efficient? Because I understand for the guys, it's a lot of money anyway, like it's not free. And they want to get maximum quality of what they're paying for. So that's why today we decide to touch this this topic to give you our thoughts, but it's not just our thoughts, it's our thoughts based on real experience, as Striker mentioned, by him actually doing these tours and me working on them and working with the guys one-on-one, working for the socials, working for the big group tours, and working even online. Now I have this experience as well, like full-time wing woman, but online. So yeah.
I was going to say, one thing I'll just say here is we'll probably talk about price, but one thing that I've been very, I guess, vocal about or open about since I started this is that like a lot of people complain about the price. They say, well, this costs too much money and this costs too much money and this company's making like hundreds of thousands of dollars and it's just not fair. They should charge less. See, I don't agree with that. I think that any company can charge whatever the hell they want. It's just the way that it is. People don't complain about singles cruises costing too much. So, and I believe that, the companies have to make money and they're going to charge whatever they want. But one thing that I've always been vocal about and advocator for is that if you pay for this, you get this. You don't pay for this and then you get this, or you get half a thumb or something like that. So just wanted to just throw that in there at the start, because I'm going to talk about my experience and people are going to be like, you've paid so much money to these companies. And yes, I have, and here we are. Pretty much.
But like the idea of the single cruise is like, maybe we will touch at then. Like I chased this idea like for so long. Like it's my dream to arrange like a travel for the people like who are single and who are looking for their partner, but not like really trying to match. Like just like put there like the people who are approximately same age, or like approximately like same age category, I would say, and just let them do fun. Like just arrange an extremely life experience for them. It would be so cool. Like if, because like even in Ukraine, if like we don't want to pay more, or just like when the girls pay and the guys pay for the tour, just to travel, and if things happen, if like, I think it's great. I don't know, guys, do you support this idea? Maybe one day.
I do. I think it's a great idea, actually.
I know.
Okay, so
I mean, everybody likes to travel, so yeah. So let's talk about how we're gonna call it, like pros and cons of
well, not even. Well, I don't know. We're just trying to. We haven't really sort of planned it too much. We just thought that we'd. I mean, you've got experience. Like, I mean, you've done these group tours for one of these probably the largest company for many years, and I've actually been on that group tour, and I've actually been on another romance tour company. So, okay. So, from my experience, okay, like I don't need to tell the whole story of like exactly what happened there, but the group tours, what's the best way to say it? I don't even know where to begin. So the group tours has okay, let's talk about effectiveness, okay? Is it a practical approach to going over to Ukraine? So with the group tours, there is no matchmaking that takes place, okay? The one that Luba used to work for, they used to sort of pretend, right? They're like, oh, tell us who you want to meet and we'll invite them. But that's kind of like, it's bullshit, pretty much. The one that I went on, the first one that sort of got me into this whole scene, I suppose, they say choose some and we'll invite them, but what actually happens is when you get there, none of them are there. It's just the way it is. All the guys and everywhere all over the internet complain about the exact same thing. So there's zero matchmaking. So the reason that there's zero matchmaking is because if what happens in real life, which is you go there and it's like, I don't really like any of these ladies. I know it sounds ridiculous when there's like 120 or 150 ladies there, but that's the reality of it. If you figured that out 2 weeks before your trip, you would probably cancel your trip. I probably would. In fact, I would, because what's the point? So they say, no, face-to-face meetings is the way to do it, which is the way to do it. I'm not saying that that's not, but there's zero matchmaking. So it's what's the best way to say it? It's like a gamble, right? You're going to go and play the game, and some people win something, some people get married, some people win nothing. So it's not, in my eyes, it's not a practical approach to dating at all. It's a gamble, and they cost about $5,000. And what is the one that you used to work for? Cost? I think it was like $5,000.
Price. I don't know. I want to say that, like when the guys go to the social, I would say that it is a very fun experience. It is a very cool, fun experience if they know what to do there. Because a lot of guys, when they come, it's their first time in Ukraine. That's why they choose the group tour. They think it would be easier for them to come with some company that will take care of everything, and that who will just will make sure that they're like safe and warm and feed. So, but if you know how to operate the social, then you can be not disappointed. I would put it this way. Like there is no promise anyway, like will you be successful or no, but at least you will try to not be disappointed, because you will understand who is forward girls, who is the girls who are like predators, scammers, how they operate, how they talk. Basically, to be honest, when we started writing the hard rocket course, this was my main idea. Because in our course, and the guys who already done it, they would support that we're not saying like strictly no to any of the services. We're not saying don't do tour, don't do this, don't do that. We want you to do whatever you're comfortable, but we want you to know what's going to happen with you and how to avoid some situations. So that is what hard rocket is about. And because our goal was not like say, oh, this company is so bad. No, we don't do it. Like we want to actually make sure that you know how to operate and what to do and what to pay attention at. This is very important. But still social, like it's not individual approach that I think it's very important when you do dating. If you come for fun, if you come for travel, if you come for experience, emotions, then, maybe just give it a try. And if it is your spare money, I would put it this way. But if it is not your spare money, it's the money that you really want to invest in finding your wife, then in my personal opinion, I think that you need individual approach. Every single guy need to be able to talk to some real person and be able to share their experience, tell them why they're looking for wife abroad, what is going on in their life, what are their preferences, what they don't want to see in a lady, and etc. But when the company is dealing with like 20, 30 guys at the same time, there is no way that they will be able to spend enough time on one single guy. So
Yeah.
this is the major difference. Like now we will with Tracker come to
Well,
some
I'll just say also like with the group tours, right? Now I've done, so when Luba talks about group tours, she's always sort of like talking about the ones that she does. And whenever I talk about group tours, for some reason I always talk about the first company that I went to. So when Luba talks about those socials, that doesn't apply to my first experience. That was my second experience. So what Luba is saying is correct. With my first experience, it was more, there was no big party and there was no girls dancing on the guys and all that sort of stuff that they show in the videos. It was like you sit at a table and it was kind of like, it was chill. It was okay. It's a little bit, for me, it was a little bit awkward. But the biggest downside to that, right, is that, well, there's a couple, right? One is this, they cram as many guys as they can onto this. On my one, there was 27. I can't see how putting more guys on a tour is beneficial for the guys, right? It doesn't make any sense. It's like, and sometimes it's like, wow, we had like 27 guys on this tour. It was like our best one yet. It's like, well, that's not good for the guys. It's, you're basically watering down the guys, and it's never going to be a good thing. So I think that the group tours, I think that they pack too many into them, and I think that it gets a little bit messy. Another problem with the group tours is that you always you have there's only a certain amount of ladies, right? And when I said, oh look, there's only, they say that you're going to meet like 150, whatever, okay? And then when you get there, you're like, well, actually, there's only about 20 in my age group, maybe less. And then I'm not attracted to like these. So there's like 4 or 5. It's like, I could have just done like some sort of matchmaking and met those 4 or 5 if you presented these ladies to me. So you end up going on dates that have no meaning because you feel like you need to do something. So I think that that kind of is a bit ridiculous in terms of like actually trying to do something that's practical. I mean, on my tour, my first one, there was one guy that is married. I know he's married because I see him on Facebook. That's all I know. There might be 2 or 3. I've heard there's 2 or 3. So that's it. So that's out of 27 guys. So that's the success rate from my tour. And it seems to be sort of similar, 4 or 5 guys, maybe a relationship, 2 or 3 eventuate out of it, okay? So you have to understand that the success rate for that is not very high, but they do earn a lot of money, that sort of thing. The other thing I was going to say too also is that when it comes to the group tours, everything is taken care of. Pretty much. Like the first one I went to was extremely well organized. You got accommodation in there. They took you to where you need to go on a bus and all that stuff. So that is organized, as opposed to like maybe some doing it some other ways, which you kind of have to like sort your own shit out, basically. Yeah, but there is the other tour as well, which is like the one Luba used to work for, which is just a real meat market, that one, isn't it?
I don't want to go into too many details because I want the guys to understand the difference in the concept, because like what is good, what is bad, everybody decides for themselves. I think that the bad part of the tour, of the social, of the tours, like, is that you're rushed. And I've seen it many times when the guys were working, were meeting the lady, for example, and they have to go to another city. So they kind of invest money already, and they think, I really like, I need to go to another city, I need to go to Kiev, or I need to go to Kharkov. I have to go because I already paid. But the lady is actually very good, and he's battling inside him between the money that he already spent and the possibility. And if he would be flexible and not thinking that, his hotel is already booked, he can't get his money back or anything, he would probably stay with this lady for another 2 days and see how it goes. And then he would go to another city and he would meet another ladies there. And if everything works, he will like not work there. He will come back to this lady, for example, in Kiev. But when you are on the tour, like, I know that a lot of guys, they actually, they actually lost their relationship because of this, like, traveling and rushing. And, Also, tours are limited in time, not just during the tour. They also limited in time how long you're staying. And the guys usually think, if the tour is like a week, so probably I should come only for a week. When we always say that, the best thing to do is like to come minimum for 10 days, but better like 2 weeks and more. Because like right now at the moment we have a client who came and he kind of like has a remote work. I understand that not everybody can do that, not everybody has a remote job. So but he came and he spent some time in Kiev. He was just chilling out there. He was not really like rushing. He was having some dates, but he said like, I just enjoy that. He started like getting used to Ukraine. He started going to the groceries, buying some food, understand like what is good, what is bad. And then he just like he rent apartment for the whole period in Kiev, but he hired a guy and he went to Rivne. In Rivne, he met a lady, and so now, I mean, he's just flexible. And I think that when you do dating, like you stressed a lot because you're meeting new people, you're not sure how to act, you don't know how to communicate. I mean, sometimes, right? But the guys, but at least with your time, you want to be free. At least with your flexibility, you want to know that nobody can tell you anything like what to do and how to do. So this is the case.
One thing I'll just add here, I just remembered it. I think it's an important point. And I'm sure if any guys have been on these tours, so when Luba talks about her tours, I can see what she's saying with these different cities. But then I sort of think of the one that I was on, which was just one city. But one thing that you'll find, and I think it's a huge contributing factor to the 3-month wall, which is basically where the relationship ends after 2 or 3 months, is the fact that not only does the guy settle for a relationship because he's like, well, I've paid my money, I need to sort of have something to show for it, right? But also the lady can settle as well. She's like, okay, well, I came all this way and let's give it a go. So because the pool of ladies that you are dating is extremely small, even though it sounds like a lot, when you narrow it down to what's available to you, you may end up settling, and it is a little bit of a risk. So, but that's kind of like the group tour. I mean, like we don't say don't go on the group tours. I mean, if that's what you want to do, there are some benefits for it. In our course, actually, we talk about like a lot of the pros and cons and what actually goes into it. And by the end of that chapter, you'll be able to make a decision as to which way you want to do it, whether it's an individual approach, matchmaking, or whatever. So after I did this first company, I came back like 3 months later or something, and I went to the one that Luba works for. Right, this is where I sort of saw a whole other new world of the scamming world and all that sort of stuff. First one I didn't, like, you're pretty well protected. And also they give you like a full-time translator, all right? Full-time translator. No matchmaking. She's just a chick that's going to translate for you, make sure you don't get into trouble, make sure you pay the right amount of money at the restaurant, just stuff like that. But no matchmaking because she's got no experience and she has no idea who the ladies are at all. So, and then when I went to the second one, that's just it was fun, but it was just a free-for-all. Anyway, so luckily on that same trip, I'd actually booked it with another company called International Romance and Adventure. And I liked the name. I thought it sounded pretty cool. And it was cool to go there. And their approach was very different from the others. It was like, have fun, do some cool stuff, enjoy Ukraine. And that was really appealing to me, and I really enjoyed it. And I actually did have a relationship with a woman from there for like 6 months that was the manager. Now, in fact, I think I actually went on one other date, but the rest of the time I spent with her. But the next, then when I came back over to see her one time, after like a week or so, we were like, this is not really what we want. So we went our separate ways. And so I flew to Kiev and I went to another company. I won't mention its name, but you guys may know about it. Extremely expensive. It was like $7,400 or $500. So it's very expensive. But that was more the matchmaking type of company, right? So you would match before you got there. I didn't do that because I was already in Ukraine. It's like, what's the point of doing that? And I was just going to fly there. So you match beforehand and then you go on dates when you get here. It's very expensive. When I went there, I didn't realize, I knew how much it was, but I also thought that the accommodation was included, transportation was included, translator was included. I didn't find out that these things weren't included until I like got there and I was like, so where am I staying? And they were like, well, just book something on Airbnb. And I was like, you mean for this amount of money, I don't get an apartment? Okay. And then when I went to only one date that had they said, go, she needs a translator, go. Okay. So I went with the manager of the company, and she translated. And then afterwards, I was like, oh, I didn't really feel anything there. And she's like, where's my $20 for the hour translating? And I was like, well, you work for the company and I got to pay another $20 on top of my 7,000. So that wasn't included in there. So if you do go on any of those matchmaking things, just check what's in there. I mean, we've seen so many different guys go to the same company.
Please stop doing that.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, I've got my headphones on. So with the matchmaking, just make sure you know what you're going to get. But in terms of actually meeting ladies that I liked, all of them I liked. I didn't wait, apart from the one that needed a translator, but for some reason she wanted to meet me or whatever. When it comes to actually meeting the ladies that you want, it made a lot more sense, right, than meeting a bunch of ladies at one place and going out on dates you don't want to do. So that's what we would call it, the individual approach or the matchmaking approach. I don't believe you need to spend that much money to do it effectively, but that's entirely sort of up to you. What do you think, Luba? Actually, I've got a question for Luba. How many years did you work for that one company for, the big company?
No, I made a break there, but total 11 years. That was my first social and last.
Okay.
And many between.
So I asked you this question the other day. So the question is, how many marriages are there that you know of? You don't even have to know them personally, but you've heard of. It's like yeah, I know that guy got married because I know, I saw it. How many out of the thousands and thousands of guys that gone through there? Like, be honest.
No, I think I don't want to lie, but I think it's like maybe 5, maybe.
In 11 years.
Yeah. It's not many. It's not many, but again, I think that if, like, my thoughts are, if they're gonna be there would be more individual approach when they will talk to the guys and will explain to them a little bit more, and they basically will try to do at least like 10% of what we are doing. I'm not saying that we're best, I'm not saying that we are like even good, but we try. And I know that for sure. No matter how people, like, for somebody we would be best, for somebody we would be worst, but I know that in our hearts that everything we do, every single video, there's some videos that we have to do like 3 times because we want the information. It's not because like my hair doesn't look nice or like Striker doesn't like I mean, it
sometimes it is.
Yeah, but it's because we want you to have a content that really is valuable. We want you to understand from the bottom of our hearts, from everything that we know, from every single crazy story that I hear every day happening with the guys. I want you to know what to do and what to avoid and how to act, and that, like, we did the video about the age gap. If you guys haven't seen that yet, watch it. It's a long video, but it's our thoughts, and it's not just that. It's like everything that we see every day, the pain that the other guys go through. We want to share this experience. The companies, they don't have time for that. And like one day Striker told me, like, Luba, are you ready? Like, we will never make as much money as these big companies. We will never like run the millions out of this company. Are you ready for that? And to be honest, like, I don't care how much money we will make if we can help somebody. And like, if while we were talking like the other day with a guy, and I see like even like the tears come out of his eye, and I'm not like making fun of it. I'm like, I was shocked, but he said, like, you touched my heart. Like, it really like helps me. It really like, help me to understand what I worth, and that I was chasing the wrong thing and the wrong person. And we hear that so many times. So that is why we are here. That is why we're doing that. And yes, these companies, like, they don't have big success rate, and unfortunately they don't care. Like, of course it would be nice if they have a couple, they put it like on YouTube like 100 times, and they make the wedding happen yesterday for 5 years. But but it is what it is. It is what it is. And like, in my experience, I also have a couple who divorced, for example, and one couple, but I'm honest about that. I'm not trying to hide that. I have a couple who, when the girl like moved to US, and like within 90 days she returned because they can't live together. But at the same time, I have many happy couples that are just happily married, and like older couples and younger couples, different ones. So we just talking here about that, like, I will repeat, like, I think that everybody, especially the guys, for example, from different nationalities, different ratio, they need to have individual approach. They just can't go if they don't have this money as a spare ones. I will repeat it. If this is like you,
Mm.
if $5,000 for you is nothing, and you want to go and have fun and meet another guys and just get out of your shell, just do it. But if you want to know how to spend them more efficiently, efficient, just contact us. And I think that for this money you can have much better trip. And I think that what we trying to do with striker, we try, at least like I want to make sure that guys are comfortable coming to Ukraine, even if they don't have an assistant like with them, or if they don't have another guys on a tour. Because to be honest, like I've seen so many different conflicts within the guys, because the guys coming from different states, they have very different politician views. And during the breakfast, oh my god, they start fighting, and they start like swearing, and they start, so it's not always like that fun. I know that like strikers tour was very enjoyable, and all the guys, like they always like very close, but it's not always. You have to understand that you're with the same males, and sometimes the same male like the same female that you choose, and then it's even like worse. So I think it's much more valuable and better to go individually, quiet, and peace and quiet, as striker call it, and do it. But we also was talking with striker about little thing that came to my mind about, like, what if like the guy still, he don't want to, like he doesn't want to go by himself, he doesn't like, he feel uncomfortable, it's his first time in Ukraine. And I said, striker, but what if it is not like 30 guys or 15 guys? What if it is like 3 or 4 guys, or maximum 5? How cool is that if like we have a network of guys, like matching guys as well, so making sure that they're comfortable with each other. And
Match
then
the guys as well. Match the guys beforehand so they don't
the
fight.
next morning, like all the articles will be Luba is matching guys now. No, I think so. I think that if there's like 3 4 guys, and like I can take a good care of them, I can like really show them around, and make an individual. It will be slow, it will be not many these little tours a year, but this is individual. So basically that's it. I mean, to not repeating the same stuff all the time. I think that
I guess the bottom line is that you have to get match made beforehand. I mean, well, I say you have to. If you don't, it's a real gamble. Like there are 2 people, right? And they have different goals and they have different values. You need someone that knows both of them to some degree, that can go yes or no, right? Because even though you may meet at the start, and you may have what we call burning desire, the lust for each other, you may have that at the start, but if you really sort of dig a little bit deeper, not too deep, you find out that there's something with this woman that this guy would not agree with. For whatever reason, she doesn't want to have kids anymore, or maybe she can't have kids, or whatever, or maybe he can't have kids, I should say. He's been snipped up, or something. You need someone that's going to know those things, because why would you waste your time, especially when you introduce burning desire? Because this is where people get into trouble. So being match made to some degree, I mean, you can only do so much. People are complex creatures. There are things that they'll never talk about. There are things that they don't even know about themselves. And these things will come out. I just want to tell you an interesting story that happened to me today. And it was, I get emails like every day. There's emails saying to use our services, to ask for advice or something like that. Most of them I send to Luba. So she has the big emails and I have the short ones. She's much better at responding to them. But there's a guy, and he said he wanted to know if there was one of our ladies that was in the rock match. He wanted to know if she was also in the Goliath site database. And without going into too much detail with them over email, I said, book a call, we'll tell you how it works, big dog, little dog, and all that sort of stuff. And I said, but, these socials breeding grounds for scammers, just be careful. And I gave him the best advice that I could through a quick email. Anyway, he emailed me back today, and he said, look, I've spoken to the owner, like the big owner of that company, and I'm going to go with that company for now. Reason is because they have guaranteed money back guarantee, that he will meet his top 5 ladies. Now, if that's not a big fucking red flag, There's basically saying, we'll guarantee we don't care, like, but they're going to meet you. We will make sure that they meet you. We don't care. This is a red flag, okay? Like if you was 5 ladies that you really wanted to meet, probably not all of them will want to meet you. Maybe 1 or 2, something like that. So I just wanted to share that story. And like that's the problem with the masses. These companies that are like suited for the masses, like cram the guys in as much as you can, and maybe a couple will pop out the other end that didn't get scammed, that did meet a legitimate lady, that did manage to sort of, and it's just a numbers game, you know, to line up 2 people with the same goals and values that have a burning desire that can create a relationship for hopefully forever, I suppose, but for however long. But yeah, it's like a big hopper. You put women in, you put men in, it'll hop, and out the bottom you may get a marriage. So yeah, so we believe in the matchmaking approach. It's the way it has to be. If you're not going to do matchmaking, you might as well just come over and go to the club and just hang out and do whatever. But you don't need to pay 5 or more money to go to like a party to meet ladies that are either scammers, too old, not attracted to you, whatever. Like it just, I look back on the fact that I did it and I think, what the hell was wrong with me? Knowing what I know now about the industry. So yeah, that's our thoughts. I've lost track of like what the video was about, where we were going with it. Do you guys have any questions? Let's answer some questions, eh? You there, Lou, or are you frozen?
I'm not frozen. I'm waiting.
You look like one of those, you know, like the iguana when they freeze for like days.
Thank you very much.
And it's like, what's happened? The iguana hasn't moved for days. Yeah, what do you want to add? What do you think?
Sister, you see, guys, how he Ukrainized now. He's
in regard to what? Are you frozen like an iguana?
Dino, thank you so much. Thank you. He said, Luba has a very serious look on your face because Striker keeps playing with the pen even after the first warning. I just sent him 4 messages to put the pen on the table.
well, look, I turn my phone off. It's like polite, but playing with a pen is not. I can't help it. It's like when I'm nervous, I like to play with something. Sorry.
Yeah, but we all can hear that. So, what is the status of Belarus? Good question. So actually, when I start telling about the little tours that Dino, you know me very well. So when I started telling about these little tours, like we actually offer that, like we have 2 guys who we want to do that. Like I kind of like choose them from many to go to Belarus in December and just to try how it will go. And everything goes very well. Like I would have an incredible program for any of the city that like we would ever go. Why are you laughing now?
I'm just laughing at your messages about the pen. They were very assertive.
And you know, I'm pretty patient. I'm iguana. What is going on? I was looking to our partners in Belarus, and at the moment, they have like just recently happened that you have to stay 10 days on self-isolation. Even though when Ukraine was completely closed, the borders were closed, they never closed their borders. They never was in quarantine. They never just like they when I was calling them in March and April and said like, wow, like there's nothing, like you can't go on the street, and they was like look at me and say like, Luba, everything is good, kids go to school, buses are running, everything works. You see, he said Mona Lisa, not iguana. Thank you. At least somebody I have to support.
I have to be very fond of the iguana. I think it is one of the most underrated reptilian creatures. It needs to be given more recognition.
By me. So yeah, and at the moment what's happening is that I don't think that at least like this week, like, you know, because they said like, Luba, you can't judge the situation by like in general, because every week something changed, and we hope that this election will either like shut down the country again, or it will actually like will be done something about that. And one of my older clients, he was making fun that nowadays he said like since March in America nobody died from the age. So nobody died because they're older. So at the moment, like, we decided to postpone this trip. Like, we will not be probably able to go in December to Belarus. I'm thinking either to change this trip with these guys somewhere in Ukraine, or maybe move it to spring when it's warmer. It's still like plenty of stuff to do in winter, so don't worry if you think that you can't come because it's cold and there's nothing to do. There's plenty of things to do. And today, even, like, it's not like super hot. Today I went to another city. I went to the castle, and I just want to see how it goes there. Like, it's incredible for the guys to go there. They have such an interesting tour. It's not touristic like now. There's not many people around, but it's also have this own charm, I would call it this way. So the status of Belarus is that when you come to Belarus right now, you have to stay 10 days on self-isolation. No matter would you do a test, would you not do a test, they don't care about that. They want people to stay for 10 days. What's going to happen next week, I don't know. I will keep you posted. Like, I will definitely inform if you're looking for that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a new sort of a thing that Luba sort of, well, I guess we both came up with it. And the idea, I guess, behind that, I mean, I guess this video is not really about that, but like we are very strong advocates for enjoying Ukraine as a whole. Like, people in this industry will say people are not interested in seeing Ukraine. They just want to date ladies. They want to come over and date ladies. We kind of disagree with this. Like, when we talk to people about what they want to do, like, they're interested in war, or yesterday I went to the catacombs in you like catacombs or catacombs?
No, he said that it was in French they call it catacombs, but in Russian at least it's catacombs. But
yeah. So we went to that yesterday, and it was interesting, under the ground where all the war and stuff was. Anyone going to that is just like, you're not going to see that anywhere, So there's so much cool stuff, and like I said before, when I went to one company called International Romance and Adventure, and it was actually pretty cool. Like, the concept was, to enjoy some cool stuff, not so much Ukrainian stuff, but I went snowboarding, I did like a crazy bridge swing, and I did all this other kind of cool stuff. Of course, that doesn't appeal for everybody, but it was an amazing trip, and it was probably like one of the best trips out of all the traveling of 30 odd countries I've been to, because I got to see this unique part of Ukraine that not many people see. So if we can bring the two together, then that's great. It's not going to be for everyone, and we know that. If we wanted to appeal to the masses, we would hire a restaurant. We would hire ladies. We would get ladies to come in there, and we would charge $5,000 each for the guys, and we would pack that room out. But that's not what we want to do, because that is not effective. Because even if you do go on like a tour thing and you meet the ladies that you want to meet, let's say you meet 10 over the space of a week, and for some reason you don't connect with any of them, at least you can go, I still had a really great trip and I can't wait to get back. As opposed to like going to one of these dating tours, nothing happens, and then you are really bitter with the company, with Ukrainian woman, blah blah blah. So this is all. I guess a lot of this comes out of my experience as well as Luba's as well. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, really. I mean, I guess when it comes to, hopefully, I've sort of like I've tried not to go into too much detail with these group tours, but in a nutshell, it's for the masses. It's just like a meat grinder. Get the guys in, and some of them will pop out and they will be successful. The first one I went to does have success stories. They're not as high as what you think they are, believe me. Believe you, it's tweaked a little bit, which fucking sucks, and we hate this. That's why we don't talk about stuff like that, to hype up we would never talk about success rates. And Luba and I have spoken about this many times. It's like, what do you determine a success rate to be? I reckon there's only one way to determine a success rate, and that's like when a couple is married and one of the two die and they were still married. That is 100% success rate that they that they were still married as long as possible, right? Up until that point, how do you know? It's like, okay, married for 10 years. Yeah, well, we're successful couple. 11 years? Oh, yeah, we divorced. Okay, so at what point was it successful? Okay, so, and we will never show guys saying that they've just met their love of their life last week or anything like that. We may talk to guys who use our services, and we've got guys that have like written up like things for us to say, how the experience was in terms of enjoying Ukraine, not getting scammed and getting around and all that sort of stuff, because that's what we do. So that's important to us.
I want to
Uh,
say here is that like guys asking about like expanding the market, Russian agencies, Moldova, Lithuania, and etc. So first of all, at the moment we expand like cities in Ukraine, and we got offers from different agencies a lot. Like we got emails like, oh, let's contact us, let's like talk, let's do a video on our channel, let's you will recommend us. When I start talking to them, it's not that many agency who wants to work with us, because like I have a very strict rules. Like at the moment I have two clients with they went to Kharkov, and they like the manager is like reporting to me, even I was not asking, but she like making sure that my clients are happy, and she making sure that there's no misunderstanding, everything is good, because like when you go on a big tour, like, and there's not many people who can take care of you, like even like over a relationship, like coach you during your relationship. Because for example, like at the moment I have a client, he is dating a lady. Our agencies are not pushing you to have an interpreter like 24/7, and they like, if you like, you can go on the first date, and if you like each other, there's Google Translator, it translates terribly still, like nobody can convince me. I've seen the correspondence between guy and girl on Viber while they use this translation, it is just terrible, like what he's saying, like how it translating. I understand his like words and phrases in English, but how they translate in Russian is so bad. But they still communicate. An agency would not push them to like just go with interpreter and don't like pay us, pay. So they do it, but they have time to understand what is going on. Maybe there need to be some support, because with this guy and lady who doesn't speak good English, they was talking, but there was a little misunderstanding that he misunderstand completely. And so when we both, like that agency from Kharkov and me from other side, like we actually get into them and we explain that everything is good, he didn't mean that, she didn't mean that, and everything like that, and they are together, they're happy, everything works perfectly, they're now like like continuing their relationship. We're not calling it success couple yet or anything like that, because they're just building, when probably other couple would say that it is a success couple, after like week together. Like we don't, like I don't know what's gonna happen next. And I always tell to the guys, then the only time when you can actually say that you in a kind of relationship, it's when after you like went to a trip and then you start talking, and communication really goes very well. Because a lot of guys, they come to Ukraine, they start talking, but then when you go home, unfortunately communication can go very down. That's why I say, like, and a lot of guys was blaming me for that, that having two options is not bad when you go home. And then I promise you that one will get out. Like this already happened to so many people. And we have another, like we have Rivne city on our on board. We have Khmelnytsky, we have Lviv, we have like a couple of other cities that we added that not like was not that famous before. About Moldova, it's like, if I see a good agency, I promise you that I will add. Russia is a very different market. They're not really willing to cooperate with anybody. And also the reason that I'm not pushing hard in Russia is because guys, uh, the guys need visa to Russia, and nobody wants to think about their trip, like even like also about that. So that's why Russia right now at the moment is not my priority. I messaged like two agencies, one in St. Petersburg, another in Samara. Samara said that they're not interested in that. So what does it tell you? If they don't want to work with the agency who has, with the company who has YouTube channel, so probably they have something to hide, as you understand. And St. Petersburg agency just, never reply. They read it. I've seen that they've seen the message. And again, what does it say? Because when I contacted, for example, agency in Khmelnytsky, they was like, they called me immediately and they start talking to me, and they was happy to start working. So
yeah, it's like it's kind of like attracts like with this. Good agencies know other good agencies, or they know, and they're few and far between. The amount of agencies that there are, and the ones that like struggle, like they struggle. They don't believe in this fake stuff, paying the ladies and all this kind of stuff. So it's difficult, and that's why we say to them, charge whatever you want. We're not going to dictate you charge $50 a date or $100, whatever it is. We say, look, you charge whatever, so you make money. As long as you're happy, take care of us, take care of our guys, we'll take care of you. And that's just kind of like the backbone, I suppose, of Heart Rocket, is to look after them. One thing I was going to say before was that, you know, if you do like the individual matchmaking, the company that you're using, and sometimes like a guy will send his profile to various of the agencies, but only end up working with like 3, 2 in this city and 2 in this one. He plans his trip with Luba, and that's how it all sort of comes together. They all have a different way of getting to know the guy. Maybe it's a questionnaire, maybe it's a Skype call, whatever it is. So they want to try and get to know you, you know, so that when you're here, they feel as though, you know, they're actually doing some actual matchmaking, you know. They will most likely know the lady to some degree, but you can always ask questions about it as well. When it comes to the group tours, like the girl that you're working with, the translator, she doesn't know anything. Like she doesn't never met the ladies before, unless she's worked there for like many years and the same lady is, you know, always coming to the event. She can suggest these ladies, but really you're kind of on your own. So if you're looking for someone to like actually kind of really help you push in the right direction, you know, and quite often Luba always says that they say the guy wants to meet Svetlana, Olga, whatever, and the agency will say, that's great, but I know some ladies that would be perfect for your situation, you know, whatever it is you're looking for, do you want to meet? So they'll suggest it as well. So
And it's true, because recently it happened with one of the agency when the guy really liked the lady, and the lady was kind of like okay, like, and the agency knew that. Like, agency can actually say, you know, they're dating, they're going on a date, let's do it. But she called me and said, Luba, can I offer him another lady? She looks very much like this Irina. Can I do it? Can I offer him another lady? And I say, why are you asking me? Of course you can. So the agency already knowing him, she understands that there's another lady who would like you more, or maybe the relationship will go better. So they advise them. This is very important. And that is like, I'm super proud of Heart Rocket in this matter, because no matter where I was working, and I was not working only for one company, it's like, you know, maybe somebody think that I was only working there. I was working for many websites and agencies, and I never seen that. I never seen when people was actually like, you know, saying, you know, this is another, like they was advising, because when the guy was going on a date, they were thinking, whew, you know, easier, he's already gone and that's it. No, and like this manager from Kharkov was so happy, like, oh, you know, everything good, like 2 couples, like they said like they good, they like making relationship, everything goes well. And so we're also happy for you guys. Like, it's not just business for us. When there's a couple, of course we're super excited and super like happy about that.
yeah, and I was just going to say also is that, you know, we wrote the course so you would understand everything that's going on, and you can put rules in place for dating that's going to mean that you're not going to get taken advantage of. And this is the big part of it, because these agencies are independent, right? They hold their own name. If they fuck up, then they fuck up, and it's their name that's on the chopping block if they screw up too many times. And we actually removed one agency that we were working with, not because of a scammer, but just because of the communication that they were having with us, and I think with a client, right? And it was like, you know, if we ask you a question, you need to come back to us like very fast. If you're coming back to us later and forgetting, so we said, Luba told me a couple of things. I said, that's it. But like, every guy that comes to us cannot have the feeling that we're having of like, they got back to us about the information that we needed. So we got rid of them. So we're quick to drop them if we have to. And this is an interesting point here, is that they listen to us as well. So we've had a few instances now where one of them was actually listing a very famous pro dater on her website. You remember? And we went there and we said, I said to Luba, like, what the hell is this? Like, come on, she must know. And Luba went back to her. She says, well, she's fine. She's a lovely lady. She's come to us. She's looking for a man, blah, 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 blah. So I went and like screenshotted all the stuff that people were talking about, this famous pro dater. And we went back to her and she saw it all and she was shocked. She like, because I'm in the other side. Yeah, I'm in the forums. I have Ukraine Fusion that you guys go and visit if you want to discuss some dating in Ukraine. And I see the websites and I see it from the guy's point of view. She doesn't see it from her Ukrainian side over here. So she was just a nice girl that was really looking for like a good, sweet, kind man and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we showed her all the stuff and she was shocked. She was like, what the hell is this? So she deleted her straight away and she thanked us for making sure that she didn't have this draw card pro data scam. She pretty much fits all of the terms. And then we actually had another one the other day where she
met our guy.
Yeah, it was a coincidence how two guys had been on dates with her, and the guy that I knew, he's like, she's a scammer. She was in the database, and then also this other guy was like, hey, I know her. She like asked. Anyway, we correlated the text messages between two guys that have no idea who each other are, and it was the same asking for questions. So I said to Luba, go back to this agency and say what's going on. And anyways, the agency was like, yeah, she got caught asking a guy for something years and years ago. She came back, she begged, she said she really wants a man. The agency made her sign a document that said, I will not scam. I will not scam guys. If I do, I have to like pay some, I don't know, whatever the document said. And so this had happened behind the scenes, right? And so we came up with like two stories that had happened in the last, I don't know, 6 months, I suppose, with this lady. Showed it to the agency. The agency said, okay, I gave her a chance. I believe that she was honest. She, she spoke English. She was looking for a man. I think maybe she had kids. I can't remember.
And even this guy met her not through this agency. It just happened that she was from her. Like, this is the interesting part, because she can say, oh, it didn't happen in my agency, but she actually listened to me and I showed it, and she said I removed it. And
it was from both. In fact, the two guys were two different agencies to our one. So she's just going around and putting a post and, please, I'm looking for a good man. And then I saw the messages and it was like, the thing is like, if your guy had done our course, he would have spotted that a mile away, because she set him up for the for the classic scams, and he would have spotted a mile away. But just the way that it is, do the course and you will not get caught out on scams.
Yeah, I think that the best investment and the best thing that you can do for yourself before you come to Ukraine, it's not because it's our course. I think that as much as you know about Ukraine, you should actually do and learn and Russian and history and different things. And to answer the question, like, what is the difference between Russian and Ukrainian agencies? To be honest, there's not much agents like difference. Like, the ladies coming to the agency, different agencies has different approach. Different agencies, like, some of them just took some girls from somewhere from internet. We just try to work with best of the best. And like, we're not about, I repeated already 100 times, we're not about the quantity, we're about quality. And even if, like, at the end of the day, like, from 16 agency, we will keep only 5, I would know that, they're the best. And like, that is why they're staying there. We not like removing agency out of blue, but we think that we give you guys a good service according to the guys who subscribed, who has my support. I try to respond as soon as I can. Even like sometimes I don't think it's very appropriate when the guys message at 11 or 1 a.m. So I kind of like feel not comfortable about that, but still we do our best. And so that's why we request the same service from our clients there. And like, if the agency is not responsive, she's taking their time to respond to the guy, they ignoring or something, they're not going to be on board. That's all.
Yeah, it's really hard, eh? It's like because there's the industry has been scam ridden for years. I did a video about the over sexualization of the industry and how it can attract guys who are going to get scammed. So we're working with that. We can't change that. In fact, we even say that very openly, that we can't change the industry. It's too powerful to change it. We can just create something over here for the guys that want to do something that's legitimate. And the thing that's really shocked Luba and I over this, I guess, this pandemic, is how many guys are writing letters. We thought letter writing was dying, and we know that we know people who write these letters, and they were saying that not that many people are writing letters. Like, times are tough, but man, like, so many emails coming through in the last probably month or two, usually with the same couple of 2-3 websites. The odd curveball gets thrown there, but these websites that have the word Ukraine in them. How many guys are writing letters to these women?
Striker was surprised, but I told him that in winter, when like in summer, it was when I was working as interpreter and writing letters, it was like good season for coming. The guys were coming, the guys were like spending time in Ukraine. But in winter, it was a very good season for letter writing, because everybody was sitting home and they want to stay, entertained, and they feel like lonely and they want to get these letters. Have you thought about contacting individual ladies from the big agencies that you think are honest? Not all of the women at the big socials are scammers. Like, what's the point? I agree. I agree that not all of the ladies are scammers, and we never said that all of the ladies are scammers. We're just saying that when the guys come to the social, he's like walking, and then the forward girls or scammers or predators, they just jump on the guy, and the guy actually can't even like he see that maybe there in that corner there's a nice lady, but she would definitely not be dressed in a mini skirt, and she would never like be very active or like dancing for this contest, and but he doesn't have chance to come to her. So, and if you think that you will be able to do it, trust me, it's not gonna happen. Striker, put the pen.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to throw it on the floor.
I never seen that you're doing that.
And don't
No,
you?
I'm
I
sorry,
always.
I understand. I also sometimes do it,
Because
but
I've
like
got
you
this
have
on.
yeah, you have it there, and it's very loud. Like everybody can hear that.
I thought they liked it. That's why I was doing it. Obviously not.
Of course.
One thing I was going to say is like, it's not easy to build a database, if you want to call it a database, of ladies that that are legit. Like that's very difficult. It's something that we've never really even like looked into, because I know that the hard part. Luba has got ladies. Luba does a lot of random things, like a lot of random groups and I don't know, acting class and how to save someone's life class and all these random things. But she's always like, you know, improving herself and learning. And she always meets ladies and she tells what she does, and Luba gets her details, and you know, we can definitely pass those details on if there's a suitable match, right? But to build a massive database like this website's very, very difficult to do, like incredibly difficult, you know. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, yeah, but these days it's like you've got all these dating apps and all these, you know, sorts of things that get infested with scammers. And that's the problem.
Yeah, but again, if you know everything, you will never get caught. But even, you know, even with this guy, like I was planning to do the story, and I don't know, kind of like I don't want to have a negative videos. I don't want to have a I don't want to have like a scam stories, but I think that I still will do a couple of them, like to get to the guys to understand that sometimes, like when the guy, like I have one client and I know that he's very uh if I would tell him no, like if I would tell him no, he would do to prove me wrong. I knew that, like I know him for many years. And when Striker told me, Luba, like, you know this guy, it's your friend, like why didn't you tell him to not meet with this lady? And I said, I just know him. Like if I tell him, like he will just try to prove me wrong, because he's a businessman, very successful, very powerful, very fast, very like, you know, ambitious. And so I knew that he would not. He would just make his own thing and will try to prove that, you know, no, Luba, you was wrong. And so even when she would start asking him about like ridiculous amount of money for her apartment in Kiev, when she would start asking for when she messaged him a message saying that I'm coming, but I have a light pack and I only have t-shirts and jeans. For me, that message, that one message was like, not just, it was a giant reddish, you know, flag. For him, it was like, of course, dear, I understand, because like you don't want to care a lot. No, what she was preparing him for the fact that when she come, she needs to go shopping. He didn't want to listen to me. He kind of was like a little bit listen to me, and then after the first date, she said, we're gonna go to the restaurant, so I need some nice dress. Will you buy me? Let's go shopping. And the guy, he kind of thought, you know, all the guy, and she has like, she's so smart. She understand that the guy want to see her sexy. He understand that the guy want to see her nice. She understand that, you know, the guy would like, she would make him feel you know, special if she wear like this nice dress. And so she knew that. But imagine, like from the very beginning, from the very first day, she was preparing and she was planting the seed, saying that she doesn't have anything. When the serious lady, if she would come to meet a valuable guy with whom she'd been talking, trust me, she will wax everywhere she can. She will borrow some clothes. I mean, sorry about that, but I mean it's true. She would make sure that she's like the hottest possible for him, because she's going to meet a guy. When the lady doesn't give a shit about that, sorry for my French, she would just say that, you know, don't have. And then the funniest part is that he asked her to bring this swimming suit. And if you haven't seen our video about the swimming scam, have a look. This was so hilarious. I don't know, like, why the girls need this 500 euros swimming suit. Like, what? So he asked her to bring it. And she said, of course. She also make a little bit of a point that she has a very simple one. He said, it's okay, like you have a nice body. So when she was traveling, he say, did you get your swimming suit? And she said, I forgot my swimming suit. No, she said, I don't have it. And he said, so he was trying to make joke. He said, so how are you planning to swim? Are you planning to like be naked? So he was trying to tease. And she said, no, you're my man. You're gonna buy me another one, right?
Oh, she's
I mean,
so
and the
stupid.
guy, the guy doesn't know that. He would think, okay, she's a lady. She forgot, like she was rushing, like she was rushing to see me, and she forgot the swimming suit. So she would say, of course, dear, I will buy. And the guy would think, okay, how much the swimming suit can cost? $20, $30? Mm-hmm. She will take you to the most expensive shop. Yeah. So, I mean, these kind of things that you need to learn before you go anywhere, social, individual dates, no matter what, because even like this, like sometimes agency can't know what the girl is about. The girl can come to the agency and she can say, I'm a sweetheart. I really want to find man. Please set me up. She doesn't care about the agency, what they're going to think about her, like later on. She needs to do her thing. And that's why like one of the biggest scammer, she's on all over the agencies because she's a very nice lady. I've been talking to her personally, and she's very nice. She's very kind. She's very like manipulative. She's very smart, and so she comes to the agency, and the agency think, like she's pretty. She's like 32, and she looks good. She has already pictures, so they don't have
She
to
will
worry
bring the
about
client.
she will bring a client. Yeah,
The
so
draw card.
that's why hard target is it should be, it's not such a big money compared to everything that you can spend on the tours or anything, but anything educational would worth it, if you're educated, and after you're educated.
Can I just say here, Daniel, he's just called grooming of the man. I actually call them grooming, like the girls that pull the long game. I actually have a list of words, and we've actually thought about, like, because a few people have asked, like, what's the draw card, and what are these different terminology that I've used for like the thing. But one of them is actually called the groomies, and the girls can be the pro data, they can be the draw card, they can be the fixer. The fixer's the best, or the groomie. They can be all of them, but I will probably make a video and I'll delve deep into my terminology. Sorry, Liva,
If
go ahead.
you don't mind sharing, what was the age difference between it
Yes.
was Huh? Yeah, it was big. And you know what the agency told me, to be honest? Like, I will be honest with you, what the agency told me. I said, why did you? Now, you see, I start playing with something. What the agency said, she said, I mean, it sounds bad, but it's true. She said she's for some old man who wants to be a sugar daddy. That's easy as that. If you want 20, 25-year age gap, even like 15, to be honest, sometimes, the lady expect you to just spoil her. That's
Of
all.
course. I mean, that's the thing. It's like you can't, like you can't have the best of all worlds, right? So if you want to have a young wife, you must pay for her kids, whatever. You must buy a house for you, or you must, like, you have to offset it. There has to be some value, and the value
and
has
for
to
some
be.
guys, if it's good, it's good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this particular pro data we were just speaking about before, well, I can't even really call her a pro data, to be honest. I'm sure she's getting kickbacks, 100%, 99.9% certain. But she's very open about what she's looking for, and she wants a man. And I mean, I've actually been out on a date with her before. I don't know. Somehow I managed to get on a date with her, I suppose you could call it. Not that it was difficult. She dates anyone. But she's very open about, not to me, but she was very open to, like, one of the agencies that she was with, that she wants a man who's going to give her, basically she costs 10,000 euros per month. Now, is she worth that? I'm going to say no, because I mean, she's probably in her 30s now. I mean, like, not that that's a bad thing, but I mean, if you're going to spend $10,000 a month, you're buying a woman, really. That's the way that it is. And if I don't know, maybe you probably get her a bit cheaper. Just wait. I mean, coronavirus has been pretty harsh. You could probably get her for about $6,000, I reckon. What do you think? Special? Actually, every year that she gets a little bit older, the price comes down. It's like a car,
It's like,
but you'll get to it.
Yesterday he was telling about the price for the women. They say that the cow cost like 5 rubles, and the lady was calling 100 rubles to sell to Istanbul in 19.
The cow costs more.
cow costs less. Yes.
Oh, the cow. I thought you were saying the cow costs more. I thought that was what the joke was.
Luba hasn't heard this story yet. Which story? It's actually, Janik, it's funny. I know from own experience, do not go to Ukraine to meet a lady around Valentine's Day. Actually, in our course, I say not come for any holiday. It sounds bad, but if you don't want to end up buying gifts for all your family and nieces and nephews and neighbors and cats and dogs, then probably you have to avoid it. I didn't tell you.
It says, Striker, like your story of the pro dater that ended up marrying a Turkish man. Yeah, I guess so. Like, I mean, like everyone has a different set of values, you know, like for some guys, it's a younger lady. For some guys, it's a woman that already has something, family, whatever. For some guys, it's a woman with big breasts, you know, so, like everyone values things differently. And the same with the woman as well. Like she'll value things differently, you know, it's just that overall, usually men value younger, hotter women, and women value safety, security, and the ability to provide. So it seems to be that's the general consensus. So if you're lacking in something, you got to make it up with something else. So it's just kind of the way that is, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunate, just the way it is. But yeah, but you know what's funny though? Like these pro daters, you know, I get to see them around the place because Luba will point them out. What was one the other day? And you said this was another one, and she was fat, wasn't she? Do you remember that?
She's also moved to Turkey. Like this was really shocking how she.
Or was it a different one?
Yeah.
But she was like gigantor, like too many free dinners, I suppose, too much caviar and not enough money back. Or too much money back, I should probably say. But I've seen another one too that was actually on the tour that I went when I met you. I think you sent it to me, like on Instagram. You said this was, I can't remember what her name was. It Tatiana. You said this is who was scamming a guy, and she was absolutely shocking, wasn't she? I was like, wow, like, you know, they make, I guess you could say, make money while the sun shines, make hay while the sun shines, right? While they still have their beauty. Can't go out for 7 or 8 meals a week and order whatever you want and expect to maintain that hourglass figure. Unfortunately, they're their own worst enemy, aren't they? Okay, so where are we at? Yeah. We're going for an hour.
I think that
when does the client get access to your profile of the ladies? Okay, so I'm not sure. I don't know if you're a member of Heart Rocket and you can't see it, that means you don't have that membership. So there's 2 levels. If you have the wing woman, you'll just see a box that says Rocket Match right there in the middle of the page. So if you don't have that, that means you haven't got the wing woman support. We're probably going to rename it something.
Okay, guys. So if you have any more questions, we will stay for maybe 5 minutes longer. Just let us know. And we still do our calls. So if you want to have a call with us, just go to www.heartrocket.com. And
I think there's a link below. If you guys like these live videos, you know, we're sometimes we're like, well, should we do it? Even today we were like, well, should we do it or should we not? But I mean, we seem to have like a pretty good, like we are stoked, like if there's one person in here, we're happy. So we're pretty stoked to have like 60 people in the room. But if you like it, like the video and let us know that you enjoy the topics. Yeah, that would be great. What was I going to say before? I was going to ask for an opinion on something.
Mine?
No, I was going to say, what do you guys think of this? I've forgotten what it was. Was it the going over, like doing the mini tours, maybe? Was it that?
Yeah, like guys, like we planning to do this mini tour, like with these 2 guys, and we probably will keep you updated, like how it looks like and what it is. I just want to, like, if it's something that you would like to try to do, you can send us an email. And can
I just say here, and I think this is important to note. Okay, so there are different types of guys that go over to Ukraine. Now, some of them want to do it on the cheap, and they're like, just use free dating apps. I don't want to pay anyone, okay? And then there are other guys that are like, I don't mind paying something, but I don't want to pay a lot. Okay. And then there are guys that are like, just like, I mean, we've got guys at the moment, like one of them's talking about getting an in-home chef or something, right? He wants a chef to come into his apartment and cook his food. So we got all kinds of different guys. So if we're doing these tours, we're going to keep them as reasonable as possible, but they're not going to be like $1,000 and you get to go for like a week and date in Ukraine and do all this cool stuff. So we're trying to work on things that are reasonable, activities that are going to be fun and you can experience the culture and do some really great stuff. Have everything inclusive, which is like your hotel, car picking up from the airport, car driving around, maybe hopefully if we can, like driving to dates and things like that, have your own like chauffeur.
Flight between the city or transportation.
What's that?
Flight between the city, like if we're gonna fly to Belarus, it will be
private jet. Oh no, not a private jet. That's a bit out of the budget. So just normal economy flights. Yeah, but flights included from Odessa to thing. It's just like, so we want to have it so it's an enjoyable, comfortable trip. We don't want guys to be in shitty hotels, which is what I've been in on one of my one. But we want it to be reasonably priced for you guys to enjoy this whole thing. Maybe at the same price as like, like a group tour or something similar to that, but with the benefits of the VIP tour. That's
yeah, just one second. Yeah, Henry, can you please repeat your question? HB concept, I know that is Henry. Can you please repeat your question because I missed it and I would like to answer, of course. I don't want to miss your questions.
You didn't answer my question. Is that
Henry.
A question? You didn't. Is it? Where's the question?
I don't know. I also was trying to find Henry. You didn't answer my question.
What is the perception of
what is the percentage of the local women concerning dating agencies? What is the percentage of women that would or wouldn't use an agency? Is there a stigma towards the agencies? I will put it this way. When I find new girl, like new lady, for example, the moment like I attend some classes and there's a lot of women, and when I talk about like what am I doing, and I start telling them how it is and like explaining, what am I doing, and that I'm not one of that agencies that offering money for flowers and money for letters and money for dates and money for dinners and everything, they kind of like the good quality woman, they kind of think, so you just introducing people? I say, yeah. So it's what I do. And it's there's a stigma. I agree that if I understand the word stigma right, that it's like not all the ladies would like to go to the agencies because they kind of like scared and they kind of like concerned and they don't want to be seen with these like flowers and etc. And so basically that's it. But still, like some ladies, if they friend they have success, for example, I know a lady, she has a friend who moved to another country. She got married with a man, and then she also wants, so she joined the agency. So it's not like it's very difficult to say what is the percentage. So in every city is different. And of course, like guys, I see that you really worry about our common friend Rodney, and he say, how many times do I have to ask? I want to ask you the same, Rodney. How many times I have to ask you to contact us? So I'm not going to reply to your questions. Unfortunately, I can't today. If you're going to give us a call, I will definitely do. That's it. Yeah. You really touched me, enough.
I actually saw Rodney commenting on another
and
channel.
I saw me too.
I felt like he was cheating on us.
Yeah, he was loyal to us, Rodney, so we can't do it. We're like loyal.
Mm-hmm. Trust
Cheating
is a big thing.
No more mercy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I agree with Luba. I mean, like, it's only what they know, and I know. I got told the other day, a friend of mine, his girl that he's with now, probably going to get married, I suppose. She used to work not work, but she was in the database for one of these scam agencies, and she would get paid to go out on dates, so she might be an interesting person to interview. But this happens, so her and her friends, probably her social circle, thoughts of agencies are that nothing really good can come out of it, even though I do believe she met her man now through the agency. So it actually worked out well for us, I suppose. But yeah, there is a lot of bad energy around dating agencies, and that's why I say we can't change that, but we can do something that's different. And like Luba always says, I mean, we were doing videos one time at a cafe, and the lady came out. She was like, "What are you doing? Like, you can't do videos here." And Luba said that we do like dating, and she was like, "Oh no." But then when Luba sat down and talked to her and said, "No, look," and they were sitting down for ages, and I was like, "Let's go." While she was sitting there with her, like I saw the lady. She was like, first she was like this, and then I looked over again, and she was like, and then she was leaning in, and then she was laughing, and then Luba come back after like 10-15 minutes. I said, "What's going on?" She says we can use her cafe anytime we want. She just wants us to find her a man. I was like, that's awesome. But straight away, yeah, they had
the lady who runs the cafe. We know one.
No, they're good, and she was a nice looking lady. Sure,
yeah.
Can I just say, but in terms of like the question really should be, how many women want to find a loving relationship where they feel valued? The answer is 100%. Where that level of value or what she wants is different. So instead of like sort of saying that what level of ladies would use a dating agency, it's like Luba said, it's impossible to tell, but every lady, if she saw it as a viable option to find a man that, like a quality man that she would enjoy, 100% of them would take the option, but that's how they perceive dating agencies, unfortunately.
Yeah, the last question that we're going to answer is that I have a question for Luba. Do you offer services as a wing woman to help find family in Ukraine that I may still have there? My grandparents immigrate to Canada. It's kind of like interesting request. I would recommend it to have a call with us and like at least tell me more of a story, like in which city and are they I don't know, maybe they're like have some Jewish roots. If they have Jewish roots, it's a little bit easier. So so just contact us, www.heartturkey.com. In the you can choose consultation, choose the time, and we're gonna talk to you.
Yeah, we quite often we say that, like people will email us like a couple of paragraphs, or maybe less. I don't know what's worse, like a big 5 pages or like 3 lines, and they ask for like, what's that? Yeah, and so we just say like, look, it's impossible for us to give you any advice because it's not like you're buying, you're deciding between, whether or not you should buy these pair of shoes or these pair of shoes, and even that's probably even more complex than an email depending on your running style, right? So we always say like, do a call, and it's not because do a call so we can make money. I guess that is a part of it as well, but I mean, we only charge $65 for a call, which is between the two of us, and once it's like next to nothing, and the calls go for like an hour to an hour and a half. Sometimes we've had ones that go up to 2 hours. So it's because we want you to answer the questionnaire. We can find out what you've done in the past and learn a lot about you, and then say, okay, for you, we think this is the best option. Whereas any other company, you email them and you say, what do you think I should do? They'll say, give us $5,000 and sign up. You're perfect for our system. It was built for you. But I mean, we've turned guys away that have paid for a call, and we've said, look, like we don't think that we can help you. It's just the way that it is. I'm half expecting one day someone to go, can I have my $65 back? And I would say, well, do you get your money back when your doctor gives you bad news? No.
No, but nobody ever told us to give the money back. No, I think that
no. But I mean, like, if somebody says, I want to come over, I'm looking for 30-year age, because we're very honest when we say, look, you're not going to achieve. If you want that, you can go after that, but the chances of you getting that is pretty low. So it's our job to tell you the truth, and sometimes the truth is not that nice, but it is what it is. No, I'm not saying.
I'm proud that I'm not like saying to you like some super nice. And like even today, I was talking to a client, and I said, you're probably like unhappy and discouraging with me that I'm telling you how it is, and say, no, Luba, I know that you're at least like honest, and I know that I can. That's why I keep doing that with you, because like probably I would be discouraged and I would like leave. Like I would not want to use somebody's service who is that strict with me, because sometimes we all like a little bit of a white lie. But in dating, I don't see the point when you're limited in time, when you're limited in money, when you're like limited in like you want to find that person now. Why to lie to you? Why to say that, yeah, it's okay to buy her coat, it's okay? Because for most of the guys, I can tell that it's okay to get her something, because I know that it's not a big deal according to the money, but I don't want to do it. Like, why? Which fantasy I will put you in? Like you will think that you are dating this young girl. It will, no, I don't want that to happen. So if you're looking for sharp, brutal, honest from Ukrainian woman, give me a call. You wrote it too.
Yeah, and like honestly, like we've told, like, not every guy that does a call signs up, but we'll tell them the truth. And a good example is the one sort of today where he thinks he's going to be dating 5 of his top ladies and they guarantee it. Is that we'll tell you the truth, which is not that nice. So, well, I mean, it's not that it's not nice. It's just like, this is what you need to do. You need to be careful of this, 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 and this, and give as much information out. The guy can go and call one of the other companies and go, well, what do you think of like what they've said? And I guarantee that's what's happened here. What do you think of what they've said? And that person will say, they don't know what they're talking about. I tell you what, you come over here, you're going to meet the most beautiful woman. They're going to be sincere, blah. That's easy to listen to. That's easy to deal with. Like, your brain doesn't want to fuck around with this sort of stuff. It's like, I could listen to Stryker and Luba, but they're saying it's quite hard, and I need to watch out for things, and maybe I need to learn about things. This company here, who's been around for many years, has the most beautiful woman, and he says it's easy. I'm going with them, and that's the downside to it. And like, we can't do it any other way. I would never be involved in a business where I'm saying well, basically talking shit to get money. So, and I know Libra is the same too. We'll just tell the truth. If you don't like it, nothing we can do about it. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
But so far, everybody, yeah, guys, we have to go for today. But Alex, hi guys, the videos hopes you come to Ukraine soon. Have you ever had a dealing with the Ukrainian brides agency? Alex, obviously you don't really know anything about us. Unfortunately, please subscribe to the channel. Have a look at the videos. Like, I've been working.
We deal with guys using that particular website every single week. Okay, without fail. Actually, did we do this week? Almost every week without fail, and we can tell exactly what's going to happen and how that, unfortunately, which sucks, but
yes. So please give us a call. If you haven't visited our website, it's www.heartturkey.com. Please visit, give us a call, and I will tell you all what is going on. And stop writing letters. Please, how does the course work? Also, Daniel, if you want to know that, please give us a call, because we or watch our other videos. It's a pretty. It's a complicated system, but it's a course and then support, and there's like a bunch of stuff. It's like you also got resources as an agencies that you can use, legit agencies who will take the best care of you. So if you would like to know more, either visit our website or give us a call, and we will be happy to help you and join you on your journey. I'm finished. Yeah, I hit you. Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Today was a good video. I think it was good evening with you. And if you
we appreciate you, is what she's trying to say, is we appreciate the time it takes for you to come and like hang out with us.
Thank you so much, darling. Yeah, sometimes I lose my track. We actually change the time if you're talking to any of the ladies in Ukraine. So we switch our time, and it should be 10 p.m. right now, but it should be
really?
10:30. Yeah, but it's 9:30 at the moment. Yeah.
Shows how much I know or care about the time.
Yeah, guys, have a wonderful week. I know that next week is Halloween coming. Ukraine is ready for that. For a couple of years already, it become like such a big holiday. Like, it never, when I was a kid, there was like nobody even knew about that. And nowadays it's so big.
It's a Western thing, right? It's like it's the Western culture coming in there.
Like, we're going to masquerade for the nut house, and so if you will be in Ukraine, just give us a call, join, and I hope that you will have a good week, enjoy your holidays, and we are waiting for you in Ukraine.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. Paka paka.
Paka.
We'll see you next time.